Hi, my name is Angela and I'm a yoga teacher right here on Curaçao. You can find me at AStar Yoga, but today you can find me right here. And I'm about to share some of my personal rituals that I do before going to bed. Because although I try to live my life as mindful as possible, I also have a very busy life. And sometimes at night, the mind and the body are tired, but I still cannot find that switch off button. So, some personal favorites of mine that you can always do during the day or in the morning, but I really like to do them at night. The best thing is that you only need your own body, a comfy bed, and it's suitable for all levels. So, we're going to start sitting down on a little bench, or maybe it's the beginning or the end of the bed that you're sitting on, and you're going to ground both feet on the floor. So that means that both feet are flat on the floor, and you're going to close your eyes here for a moment. You connect to your natural breath, and you are not changing anything, just let it flow in and out. And then you open your eyes again, and it's time to hop on the bed. So for me, it's very important to create a safe space when I do my practice. For me, that's a comfy bed with some nice blankets or some soft pillows that I also use during my practice. I love to have some soft lighting in the room, and also maybe you can light some candles. I love to have my crystals around me, and of course I turn off my cell phone. So no phones, no kids, just me and my yoga practice. So we're going to start here in preferably a cross-legged position. So if it's not possible for you to sit in a cross-legged position, that's all right. You can also have your legs just comfortably laying on the bed here. I like to start my practice to turn my gaze inwards. So you can close your eyes here, place your hands on your knees, and I want you to connect to your natural breath, just like we did earlier while we were grounding the feet. But this time is to connect to your breath and also lengthen the breath a bit. So you might want to count. When you inhale, you count 1, 2, 3, 4. You hold that breath for a moment, and then when you exhale, you count back 4, 3, 2, 1. You continue. So breathing and connecting to the breath is something that we can do, of course, during our day. But it's so important to do some breath connection before going to sleep, because it calms down the mind. And you have time to check in with the body and to notice how the body is really feeling here. So you might want to move from side to side here a bit, or forward, backwards, keeping your eyes closed. Because with your eyes closed, you can turn your gaze more inwards. And you keep breathing. And sometimes the mind wants to wander. That's completely normal. And you don't want to stop the thinking, but you do want to slow it down. So every time you notice that your mind is wandering during this moment, you take it back to your breath. So checking in with the body, how it feels, checking in with the mind, noticing if the mind is still busy with your day or your week thus far. And you can do this as long as you want. But for now, I'm going to open my eyes slowly, have a soft gaze in front of me, and on my inhale, lifting my arms up alongside the ears and give myself a nice long stretch, just the way that I like it. So you can do it just the way that you like it. And maybe after that, on your exhale, you fold forward. Give it a good stretch here. Then it's time to roll back up again. Maybe roll your shoulders a couple of times. And maybe you can see that I always like to close my eyes while doing my practice, because then I can really feel what is happening inside me. And it doesn't matter how it looks. Sometimes yoga poses, they look a bit funny, but you know, it doesn't matter. It matters how it feels. So the next pose that I'm going to show you is child's pose. I always like to start with child's pose because it's a perfect pose to turn your gaze inwards even more. So you have the variations of child's pose. I am going to show my personal favorite. That is to create a lot of space and to place my big toes together. Create a lot of space between my knees. Bring my arms in front of me and then place my forehead on the bed. So your buttocks comes to the heels, and maybe you feel not comfortable in this position. Then I have another variation. You can bring your knees together. Maybe your arms are stretched out in front of you, and maybe you want to have your arms close to the body, you know? It feels more comfortable for you. Place the head on the bed and relax. So I would suggest you stay here for about 10 breaths. But if you feel comfortable doing this for a longer time, that's of course okay. You can do your little ritual as long as you want. So from there, I go to a flat back position for some other poses that are very yummy before going to bed. So just laying down here, getting comfortable. I will take 2 pillows, place them next to me because I might want to use them. But here, I take my time to get very comfortable, and the only thing that I start with is hugging my knees into my chest, and you can do that the way that you want to do that. So maybe it's a soft grip, maybe it's a firm grip, but you do want to have your lower back on the mattress. So it's not lifting up, no. You're grounding your lower back. I always like to rock from left to right while doing my routine. And this is where I check in with the lower back, with the spine and with the shoulders, and I notice what I feel. So maybe I'm going to circle my legs out, and I adjust this every day. So I do what the body needs. You're listening to your body. Maybe you want to bring your knees in towards the pit of your arms. It's all good. So you create your own little ritual here. So from there, I'm going to straighten out the legs and just move them a bit. I'm going to flex my feet. Maybe the arms are alongside the body for more stability, and you pull your navel in. You can rotate your feet here just to get the blood flowing here and to relax those feet, those poor feet that we use the whole day long. Then from there, I will place my right ankle on my left knee, then bending my left knee, and I'm interlacing my hands behind my left knee, pulling the left knee in, creating a nice juicy stretch. Of course, I connect to my breath here, slowly letting the breath moving into the body and exhaling completely. And with every exhale, I try to soften into my body. And you can do this as long as you want, as long as it feels comfortable. But of course, if you do it on one side, you have to do it on the other side as well. That's what we call balance. So this is one of my favorite ones. I do this every morning and every night just to recharge, but also to start my day with. So one of my personal favorites. So again, I'm hugging my knees in, and then we're going for a simple twist, a gentle twist. You can bring your arms out into a wide T shape. On your inhale, the knees, bring them in a little bit closer to the chest, and on your exhale, you let your knees drop to the right side, but you look over your left shoulder, twisting. Again, you can do this as long as you want, but I suggest 5 to 10 breaths each side. I bring my knees back to center. Remember to pull your knees in a little bit closer towards the chest, and then on your exhale, let your knees drop to the left side and look over your right shoulder this time. Oh, this feels so yummy. It creates space in your spine. It is for calming down, cooling down, but also a little detoxing, because you're giving your organs a little massage, your internal organs. So do it as long as it feels comfortable, but at least 5 to 10 breaths. Again, neutralize with the knees hugged into your chest. Maybe straighten out the legs one more time. And then, also one of my personal favorites, but you might want to use some comfy pillows for this. You're going to place the soles of your feet together, and then place them on the bed. And I always like to add some cushions here. Maybe you need some more cushions, but your knees, you let them pop towards the outside, and you just get comfortable. Maybe you want to have your hands on your chest and on your belly so that you can follow your own breath. Maybe you have your arms alongside the body. So it's all optional. You do you. I like to have my hands close to the body and follow my breath for a couple of rounds. Just breathing in, breathing out. And why am I using those cushions? Because I don't want to overstretch my inner thighs. So maybe if you need more, you can use larger pillows. For me, this is enough. You just get comfortable, and I like to do this for a long time. See if you can do this like 5 to 10 breaths, and maybe work towards a little bit longer. But remember, if you do it for 5 or 10 breaths, or you do it longer, remember to slowly bring your knees back in. Hug your knees back into your chest and rock from side to side, because you want to counterpose a deep stretch like this, and you want to close everything here. So again, get creative, find your own little ritual here. So from there, you have two options. Or you come to one side, push yourself up, or you rock forward and backwards and then lift yourself up. I would suggest number one, if you are new to yoga, that's more kind to the body. So if I do this little routine in the morning, I always like to add a little stretching on the floor, so standing. But when I do it at night, I always go straight to Shavasana. And Shavasana is our last and final pose that we do every yoga practice. That's for recharging your mind, recharging the body, but most of all to relax the mind and the body. So when I do it in the morning, I lay down, not underneath my blankets, because then I fall asleep again, So I just lay down for like 10 to 15 breaths and do absolutely nothing. Just breathe. I relax. Okay. This is if I do it during daytime, you know, that nice feeling that you have a little power nap. But at night, of course, I do it underneath the blankets and get myself ready for bed. And this time it won't last 10 or 15 breaths. No, I just lay down, get myself comfortable. I do a full body scan to relax from the toes until the crown of my head, and I fall asleep. It works every time, for real. So, you close your eyes, you relax, and you breathe. Good night.